This is a very sincere hello to Yuliia. It's almost like saying you, Leah, from Steve Wozniak, co-founder of Apple. And I am so glad to find Apple lovers everywhere in the world. I don't know, something that brings us together a lot. But, I grew up proud to have a Polish heritage. But the spelling of my name, I found out, is actually a Ukrainian spelling. So for a long time, I've been telling people that somewhere I go back further and further to Ukraine. And my wife and I have visited Kiev, and so we're personally emotional about the war. Things we've seen, and then we see pictures of them destroyed. And as Americans, we've seen the U.S. do things just as bad as Russia's doing. Back to the Vietnam War, over and over. And it's hard to understand why a powerful, rich country would violate international standards to attack a smaller country just because they can, attack a smaller country. I don't know, maybe Russia will find out again what they found out in Afghanistan. It's not for certain. But this thinking, of mine has been the heart of what drives me almost. The powerful attacking the weak, since the 60s and the Vietnam War and all that. And I always take the side of the less powerful or less rich person, less wealthy, over the rich and powerful, which is usually companies. But I almost always take the side that the consumer, the endpoint, the normal people, the average people in their homes should be the most important and respected entities. And I've seen, countless times where the U.S. used its big military power to crush smaller parties and make it go our way, in Central America, South America, Vietnam, even places like Iraq. And it just offends me every time I see it starting. But what the Vietnam War did to me was to make me a pacifist. If I had to, I decided back then, if they drafted me into the army, I'd let an enemy shoot at me, but I would never shoot back. Humans have lives, they have friends, they play games, they have entertainment, and it's just so horrible to take that away. I hear that you, Yuliia, are a full stack developer. So you can actually create websites with interaction. That is so important and useful when one person can kind of do a full job if they get an idea. And I dearly hope that both of you find jobs in IT. It goes up and down, goes back and forth, but I admire you, having lived a life. You had to leave all your things behind. Many, including myself, feel really good when we can get rid of lots of our stuff, not quite everything, but for a more minimal life, a simpler life with fewer things in the drawers, fewer things we can do, but you find out you don't need to. And recently, my wife and I bought a home in another state, Colorado. And we never had time to gather all our personal stuff and get it out to Colorado over a couple of years, So the home was just set up minimally, just bought enough to live, and I'll tell you, made me feel so happy. But this prior December, a couple of days before Christmas, that Colorado home got flooded with nobody there, and it was a couple of days before people saw water coming out the doors. So the home is a total loss. Just about, and it's being rebuilt, and the insurance companies are good though. And fortunately, we still had our California home, so we drove there, and our home in California has full of personal stuff in about 80 cardboard boxes all around the house. We kind of have to walk in and out of the boxes to get around our house from room to room. It's funny, but you know what? That means that our house, the drawers of things that we actually use when we're working, it's minimal. It's just what we need, and it's not way too much. And what a wonderful feeling to have gotten there, even if unintentionally. Well, I'd like to say now that I'm grateful to the American family in Wisconsin that is sheltering you. Believe me, if I were there, I would want to do the same. And as you have found, many in America don't really want to make sacrifices for others that they can help so much. So I'm glad to hear about that. And I truly would love to meet you someday, both of you. So please DM me here, and we can get in contact by other means, just to talk to each other and someday have a chance to meet. The war, has probably taught you that some things that you have don't last forever and they go away, and that happens throughout life, But I'll tell you, that makes it all the importance. If you can ever find somebody that loves you so much, they will be with you forever and you won't ever have to worry about losing them. That's what you should go for. And I'm thinking of Ivan, might be that person. That's the impression I get. So, compare that lasting forever to what the war did to your life. That's what people really have a hard time finding. Anyway, I truly love and care for both of you. We all go through hardships, but you got one of the best stories ever. I live for interesting stories, even if I'm misbehaving or things are going wrong. I love the stories that come out of it. And if computers ever displace people, who can be so horrible to other people, I hope they keep the dogs icons of love. I mean, a dog wouldn't do, what Russia's doing. So take care and be happy. Woz out.